The rug had arrived via FedEx and was put into the package room. It was covered in a viscous-like material that smelled like maple syrup, which they presumed it was maple syrup. It was cleaned by the staff, but the smell remained. Even after the rug was picked up by the resident, the smell remained. It permeated the room. And then the daydreams and the visions began to plague the staff and the residents of the building. They dreamt of a diner that smelled of maple syrup, and they dreamt that it served nothing but breakfast items drenched in maple syrup, pancakes, waffles, French toast covered in maple syrup, plates of bacon, sausage, hash browns, toast covered in maple syrup, coffee laced with maple syrup, orange juice spiked with maple syrup. And slowly and surely, little buds began to appear on the linoleum floor of the package room as the smell intensified, as the dreams and daydreams intensified, leaving the residents and the staff feeling this gnawing, empty hunger growing inside them, this unfathomable, unsatiable hunger rising up in them. And eventually these buds that grew out of the floor of the package room began to open and blossom like flowers, but they were tables and chairs, silverware, plates, forks. And soon an order window with a little bell appeared on the wall, and soon the tables, chairs of this diner took shape and filled the package room with the smell of maple syrup. And soon the smell of breakfast foods began to waft out of the room, and the smell of maple syrup began to draw the residents and the staff in, that gnawing hunger growing inside their bellies, commanding them to move, their bellies going. They were empty, demanding these breakfast items from their daydreams, from their nightmares. They slowly started to take their seat, as many as the room could fill of staff and residents. And then the waitresses emerged. They weren't human. No, they were not human. They were made out of liquid wet pancake batter, and they moved fluidly throughout with their notepads and their pens and their "What'll it be, hun?" Their eyes were made out of pads of butter. Their hair was strawberries covered in powdered sugar. They wore identical blue uniforms with white aprons and a white band around their heads, and as they spoke, maple syrup ran out of their mouths and pooled on the floor. The residents and staff had to fight the urge to drop their hands and knees and lap it up. And they brought from the order windows plates upon plates of breakfast foods drenched in maple syrup. And what they didn't notice, the residents and the staff, what they didn't realize is they were slowly starting to become one with the diner as their clothes and skins began to graft into the seats they sat in, the silverware and coffee cups and orange juice cups grafting to hands. Then all they knew was this unsatiable, unfathomable hunger, and they just kept piling food in and in and in as these waitresses, pancake monstrosities, moved about the room. And eventually the diner grew bigger and bigger and started to take every floor of the building, and the smell of maple syrup filled every orifice. It started to pour out of the people like sweat. And now it's the best diner in Chicago, the busiest diner in Chicago, and they invite you in to have breakfast items filled with maple syrup.